Hello and welcome. My name is Paul Deger, and I'll be your facilitator for this mindfulness course. I am a licensed professional counselor and a physical therapist, and I have been practicing mindfulness and teaching and training mindfulness now for over 20 years. And I am deeply grateful for this opportunity to be with you all today. Thank you for investing your precious resources in exploring this topic of mindfulness. And my hope is by the end, you have an experience with it that will allow you to determine is something you want to explore and integrate more deeply into your life. I truly believe, and this is based upon both my personal experience of mindfulness as well as teaching and training others and using it as a therapeutic intervention. This is one way to transform our culture from one of suffering and pain and apathy and indifference to one of kindness, wholeness, health, and well-being. And my hope is you have a sense of that, a taste of that by the end of our time together today. So I would like to share with you my personal journey of mindfulness. And there's going to be some key points here that I want to highlight for you at the end, and perhaps you even resonate with. My professional life began within physical therapy, and my specialty was neurological rehab, working with folks who had head injury or facial paralysis or stroke. And as I worked with them, I found that my curiosity about our health and well-being grew beyond how do we learn to walk and talk and balance again, to how do we grow as human beings? How do our brains function? How do our minds function to allow us to transition from struggling and suffering into wholeness and well-being? That questioning led me to changing careers from physical therapy into psychology. And I found this amazing program based in Boulder, Colorado, called Naropa University, where they have a form of education called contemplative education, which is experiential in nature. It's not just learning topics and facts in your head. It's having a true lived experience to connect what you're learning to. That was the appeal that drew me to this program, to really balance myself out from being very much a thinking-based approach to life to a full embodiment of life. Now, at the initial interview, one of the questions that came up was, what are your contemplative practices? Now, at the time, I didn't quite know what the word was, so I had to pause and look like I was deeply thinking. I was trying to figure out what the heck does that word mean? And I finally fessed up and practicing being authentic and said, can you help me understand a bit? What do you mean by that word? What they said was, what are moments, what are activities where you feel fully present, fully engaged, fully yourself? And as they described it in that way, I realized, oh, this is not that foreign at all. For me, that's the experience I have when I go rock climbing. When I'm up on the cliffs and in the beautiful sunshine, the warm breeze, and feeling my body move in motion like vertical ballet up the rock, I am completely present. And what I realized is that maybe even though the word was foreign, this experience, these activities were really well known to me. So I entered into a 3-year study of mindfulness-based counseling psychology, and each semester did involve some course of understanding and applying the principles of mindfulness and meditation. Now, after I graduated, there was no one looking over my shoulder anymore. And there were times where I sort of stopped practicing, kind of slipped by the wayside. And when I returned to it, it was kind of like exercise. You know, when you're working out and exercising and then life happens and you sort of stop, it's not till you go back to it that you really appreciate the benefits you feel in your body, how much better you feel with exercise. I found the same to be with mindfulness. When I am actively practicing mindfulness in my life, I'm just more on, more present, more engaged, more tuned in. It's a stark contrast, both personally and professionally. I find benefits to having an active, rich mindfulness personal practice. Some key points that I want to check in with you on are, what activities do you already know and do that bring about these qualities? You feel grounded and centered when you're engaged in these activities. Whole and complete, there's nothing missing in the moment. You have a keen focus, but also a broad awareness of what's going on around you. And time suspends. You're so in the now and space opens. What activities do you already know and do that carry these qualities? When I teach this class to groups, some of the things they mention are different athletic activities, maybe running or biking or skiing. People may bring up different artistic activities, painting or drawing or sketching. Or they may bring up more spiritual or religious practices, praying or going to church. So I want to suggest to you that mindfulness may not be that foreign if you've never done it before. As far as mindful activities are something we're all drawn to. They call upon these qualities within us that we desire to have present and active in our lives. I know there may be some folks that are longtime meditators who are taking this course right now to deepen their learning. And if you're just starting out, you may find over the time in this course that this actually is something you know quite well. And mindfulness, the formal mindfulness activities, are simply a way to draw this out to make it more of a tendency in how you go through your day. One way that I like to speak to how mindfulness is present within our lives, within ourselves, is comparing it to the triad of what does it take to create fire? There's 3 necessary components. So stay with me on this. First, we require fuel. And with this metaphor in our lives, fuel is the knowledge and skills that we work so hard to collect and gain over the years. All of our knowledge and skills, be they personal or professional. Heat. We need heat to create fire. And in this metaphor, it's the passion that we carry within us. It's the passion we carry within us that helps to ignite and energize applying our knowledge and skills. What's the third component needed for fire to happen? Well, it's oxygen. Now, what does oxygen do when it comes to heat and fuel and producing fire? There's really 2 aspects. Oxygen tends to intensify the fire, also purify the flame. And this is how I look at mindfulness, applying it to the passion I carry within me, the knowledge and skills that I've acquired over the years, that when I bring mindfulness into my knowledge and skills and passion, it purifies, intensifies how I show up and how I engage with others. And I find this to be a helpful way to begin to look at mindfulness is not taking away anything in my life, and actually adds to, enhances everything I already know and do. I do invite you that while you are participating in this course, to have a journal or pad and pen nearby. And there'll be moments for reflection, and this is one of those moments. I always like to invite people to ask themselves, what brings you here today? When you saw this course as an opportunity, what made you click on it and then begin to play this course? And so write down, what is your goal? What are you striving for or seeking? What do you want to get out of this course? Take a moment to pause and write that down. All right, welcome back. Thank you for writing down your goal for the course. My intention in sharing mindfulness and leading this course with you has a few points to it. First of all, I hope you walk away with an understanding of mindfulness, not just the concept in your head, but actually a direct experience of it. Head and heart, I hope you walk away being impacted with this course. Secondly, that you have a sense of, is this something that you want to pursue further? Maybe do some further classes or further training, and make this a part of your daily routine. With practicing mindfulness, you can't help but take a little closer look at yourself. So maybe by the end of this course, knowing yourself a little bit better. And lastly, with the exercise that we'll do at the end, that you have some experience of rest and recovery of mind and body. You deserve that. So I hope you get some of that today as well. And as a student within this course, a couple things that I ask of you. One is sometimes practicing mindfulness can bring about some discomfort, some uneasiness, some agitation, some anxiety. Be kind to yourself if you notice that happening. Take note. If you need to stop the video or leave the course entirely, I get it. That's okay. Maybe come back to it later. And also seek out support as needed, be it family and friends, or if you find it brings up some stuff that would be good to take to a therapist, then please feel welcome to do so. Speaking of therapy, this is a course, this is education. By no means is this meant to be any kind of medical or psychological treatment for you. And lastly, I invite you to be open and receptive and bring some fresh eyes into the moment to see what is there to be found that maybe you've been missing out on in exploring mindfulness with me.